how is it then for My PCS Online that teachers will be interacting with live meetings with their students? How does that look?
That's a great question, and that circles us back to all we learned in the spring using Microsoft Teams, because we will facilitate live instruction via a Teams meeting. And the great thing with that is that Canvas and Teams has a built-in integration where the teacher can schedule the meeting, add it to the student's calendar, and then they can access their meeting right inside of Canvas.
All right. So, as a point of detail, in the spring, as we were getting to know Teams and the meeting function, we turned off the ability for students to have cameras for a variety of reasons. This year, what's changing?
And cameras are on, so that social emotional connection that we found out students and teachers were missing, we're going to help facilitate some of that by turning cameras on for all students. So not to say that, you know, expectations have to be set by the teacher as far as camera use, but that will allow students to see one another and allow the teacher to see her students and the students to see her.
So you both have had lots of classroom experience. What kinds of expectations would you put on regarding the cameras if you were the teacher?
Well, I would first of all, obviously, very clear expectations at the beginning of the year, just as you would establish classroom rules if you were in the brick and mortar school. For the teachers that are using or that are teaching with My PCS Online, I would model for those students what exactly that looks like and perhaps the rules, and I haven't thought about it ahead of time right now, but as I'm thinking, to model those procedures and expectations for the students and making sure we as professionals start most of our meetings with the camera turned off and the microphone turned off to get situated, and then kind of letting students know when you are ready, when you are sitting, when it's appropriate, when, and going through all of those, turn the camera on. And of course, I would assume we're going to keep the microphones off at the beginning so the teacher can give direction, but definitely modeling for those students what it could look like. And then also allowing them, and James, you can correct me if I'm wrong here, but students going to have access to the background. Like if we as teachers can switch or put up a fake quote unquote background or a digital background. Are students going to have the ability to do that with their cameras being turned on?
Yeah, so with us turning on the camera feature, they'll be able to set a background, which could be an expectation, you know, from our teachers that, hey, we know your home is nice and lovely, but how about we all just choose one of the backgrounds so that we don't, you know, whatever is going on behind you doesn't interfere or cause, you know, distraction when we're live.
Yeah. And so there may be some students or families that, for whatever reason, are not comfortable even having the camera on at all. And so it is not going to be a mandate that students turn on cameras. And some of the devices that we've been able to supply don't have cameras, and we understand that. Some are not going to have access to cameras. So that's not a mandate, but it is going to be available for those that can.